What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the video that the E46, the 1JZ E46 is finally going to start for the first time. I am so excited and I cannot wait to show you. But before that happens, we need to go all the way across the country to pick up some parts. So the parts we need is a Haltech Elite 2500 and the wideband controller. I know I could buy that locally, but my loyalty runs deep. My loyalty runs very, very deep, and I'm going to WTF Auto to get this done. While I'm there, I'm actually also getting another little piece done for registration, but I will show you that in a future video. But let's jump on a plane and fly all the way to Perth and go and visit WTF Auto. All right, we're heading down for the first start. I'm stoked, I'm so excited. The guys have primed the engine oil-wise, so coil packs out and fuel pump relay out. But as they were trying to prime the fuel system, you know, obviously through the ECU, making sure everything's like getting pressurized and so on, and we're hitting the right fuel pressures, they were getting a fuel leak. So I'm gonna head in, help them fix that, and then we'll go for our first start, see if we can get this thing to fire. But it's a JZ, so you know, quietly confident.
So far, there's no fuel yet, so.
Alrighty, yes, okay. Fired up, running, you saw it running, loving it. I can't get too much footage at the actual guy's shop because obviously they've got a few more things to do, right? So we ran it up to temperature. Obviously the turbo was like smoking a little bit, and so was the turbo manifold, but that's expected on a brand new like install. You know, the turbo manifold got painted with heat paint, etc, etc. It's gonna smoke a little bit, and then it started to ease off as time went, yeah. Just like had it running for, you know, 5 minutes or whatever, and then we killed it, right? So the guys do have a few more things to do, which is just mainly tidy up that kind of stuff. Got a couple of alarms on the dash, which I'm pretty sure I know how to clear, so that's all good. So I'm gonna leave them with it, and they're gonna kind of clean it up in a few days, over the next few days. But you guys are gonna see right now, boom, let's get this thing off the truck, because in YouTube time it's getting picked up, like it's on its way, it's almost at my house, right? But you know, in me time, that's in a couple of days. But anyway, let's see the car finally home. She's finally back, boys. Now it's the test to see if we can actually like move it. It's in limp mode because the shift kit the gearbox needs tuning because of the shift kit, but it should start, well, it does start, it should limp essentially. Oh, I'm excited. Alrighty, boys and girls, the Beamer is back. It is wired up, it is running. I'm stoked. Now let's have a little look and have a little see of what's been done. Yeah, looks like nothing, hey, which is cool because that means they've done a really, really tidy wiring job. We've got every single thing labeled with its own label, its own coding. The guys are sending me it's a big blue book with literally every single termination, every wire, everything, which will have to also go to the guys tuning the car, which is great, which is going to be soon, but not yet, because we do have some things that we need to do on here. Now, obviously I can put this cover back on and leave it on, which is super exciting for me. I do want to put the little kind of drip tray under there because obviously vent here, little things like that, but they're not the important things, right? The important things that I need to get done are things like getting stuff done for registration, getting things finished off like the aircon, which I didn't have time to finish, stuff like that. But for today, obviously, you guys want to hear it run properly. Gave you a bit of a teaser in the workshop obviously because it was a little awkward. I'm not going to be lying to you guys. It was a little awkward recording, and you know, they're not really like the YouTube kind of people, so they were just like, what? Like, I mean, whatever. One of them was, the rest of them just pretty chill. But obviously we're going to start it today. This video is going over so many days, but what I really want to do, what I want to make sure is that it's not leaking, right? So when we did start it, obviously some smoke from here, normal, did ease off as we were running it. I want to do a startup, run up to temperature to make sure that, you know, I can see if we've got any leaks. If we don't have any leaks, cool. I can put my turbo blanket on today. That'd be nice, but I'll probably start it up, warm it up, check for everything. If there's no leaks, turn it off, let it cool down, and do it again. 2's pretty good for me. I'll do that, and then what I'm probably going to do is drop the oil off camera. You know, you don't have to watch me do an oil change. You have before. Now, where the car sits right now, we cannot move it, unfortunately, because there were 3 things that needed to be done. 3. 1, calibrate the throttle position sensor, the TPS. 2, calibrate the gearbox, or the gears. And 3, make sure that the fuel pressure is 360 kPa. They did that one, which is cool, at the wiring place, which I think it was kind of like already kind of set. But the other 2 are not done. So the calibrating the gear positions, that is because I've put the shift kit in there. Currently, the gearbox is not tuned. When you put a shift kit, the 1.5 shift kit in from MV Automatics, you cannot run the car normally without tuning, right? So what we do is we pull off the main solenoid plug from the back, and you're in fail-safe mode, which gives you first neutral, reverse, drive. First neutral, reverse, and park, I think, at full line pressure, which will not damage the gearbox. When you put these kits in, you have to tune the line pressure higher, so gauges, all that kind of stuff will be done when the engine gets tuned. It'll get done together. But for me, pretty much electronic side of things has not been calibrated, which will be tuned when it gets tuned, gearbox gets tuned. But the line pressure side I could use if the throttle position sensor was calibrated. Now I'm going to try and do that myself because I think that's a fairly simple thing. The software is going to come with the blue book because they did keep the Haltech USB with all the software and stuff by accident. So obviously they're going to send me that. So I'll get that in a couple of days, but you guys won't see it here. I won't be moving it around. As for today, it's just going to be a warm up and make sure either there's no leaks or I see where the leaks are and I can fix them. The other one thing I need to do to kind of like tidy it up is the fuel return line. Currently the fuel return line goes from here back around the back of the fuel pump, fuel tank, into the evap system, up into this little like, I don't know, tank, and then into the fuel tank. Not using that. We have in this, if you know E46 really, really well, the early model fuel filters have 2 in, 1 out, and the 1 out has a vacuum hose, which varies the amount of fuel coming out. That variance is essentially affected, or the end result of that variance is there are 2 lines coming into the fuel pump, one that's feed, one return. If the vacuum line restricts the flow, that means that flow will go back the return line back into the fuel pump at that point before it even gets to the engine. 1Js don't care about that. It'll just flow back. Catch you later. So I have got the later model. It's either the later model or the earlier model. I think I've actually got it backwards. The later model has the 2 in, 1 out. Early model has 1 in, 1 out. I got the early model fuel filter, 1 in, 1 out. So it's going to be 1 in from the fuel pump out into the fuel rail, and then the return I will just take from here, which is just down there, all the way back to that second, you know, into the old filter, which is a direct return to the fuel tank. So much simpler. My mate is already running it like that. It's a bit more like that, which is good because to be honest, that is my blueprint. Yes, 2J manual, but still 2J, fuel tank, fuel pumps, blah, 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 fuel filter, all that kind of stuff. I can kind of replicate on here, make it simple, have, you know, understand what I'm doing. So after all that waffling, if you actually stuck around, appreciate you. But what I'm going to do, like I said before, let's start it up and see if there's any leaks. There wasn't before, but there still could be. So let's see if we got any leaks on this thing. Alrighty, let's start this thing and see if there's any leaks. I'm going to run it up. I'm going to start it, run it up to temperature, make sure the fans turn on. I mean, I know they do because the like Sparky's told me, but I want to see that. And also the oil temp gauge, I want to see that increase as well, because last time I only saw it hit 40, it starts at 40. So I'm hoping that moves up. But yeah, let's give this a start and just hear it and be glad that it starts, you know? Before we do, quick oil check. I know this is good because I just do. I checked it at the workshop, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, full on, happy. Transmission's very full. It's hot full on a cold, but I don't think that the cooler has had enough time to actually push it all through. So yeah, all good. Just want to OCD check this solenoid plug is off. So give me a sec. Now I do have to pause the video here and thank today's video sponsor, Cap Industries. Now, there was something that I was worried about, obviously building this entire car in my backyard, in my garage, with my own research and development, all that kind of stuff. There are risks of things going wrong and risks of fire. And Cap Industries have come in and saved the day with their direct bolt-in bracket and fire extinguisher for the E46. Let me show you how this thing gets mounted and how like sleek and clean this thing looks. I'm so stoked with this. Let's have a look. You have it, boys, right in front of your either driver's seat or passenger seat. Both nice and clean, nice and tidy, out of the way. Obviously, this seat is all the way back because I'm a tall boy, but you can move it further forward for you short kings out there and still have the space to be able to not hit it, but still access it. This is incredible. Thank you so much, Cap Industries, for sponsoring today's video, for reaching out and keeping this build safe. We are going to also be putting one in the Supra to keep that nice and safe. But thank you guys. Link in description. If you guys want a nice bracket for your car, they have hundreds of different cars. The fuel, the fire extinguisher, they have ones with and without the hose. It's just great. So please reach out if that's what you want. Thanks guys. Let's get back to the video. Alrighty, yeah, we're good. He's actually got it hanging under the car, which is smart because then I can see that it's not plugged in. All right, so let's start it. We're good. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, it fires like it's been started forever, you know, it runs really nicely. There is a weird engine, like a weird noise near the gearbox. I'm assuming that's just getting the fluids around, or the fact that we're running at full line pressure. I don't know. Fingers crossed everything's okay, but yeah, let's let this warm up. It is very, very rich. And it has a blip in the idle every now and then. So that's why I've got the garage open. Just want to warm it up. And really just see if anything drips. But yeah. Stay tuned. Alright, I figured I'd bring you guys in here because it's a little bit quieter in here and less smelly. I don't know if you can hear this. Don't know what that noise is. Obviously, Performance Shop can check that out. Temperature gauge is working, which is great. So that's, yeah, obviously really good. That's the Wiring Specialties CAN bus system that we got put in. Also, that makes sure your tacho works, all that kind of stuff. I am, like I've said before, I'm pretty sure the alarms that we have, oh, look, let me, sorry, just pumping my brakes up. Pretty sure all of those alarms, apart from the cog, will go away once we roll the car. Pretty sure. Not 100%, but pretty sure. I would just love to see this start to creep up. Yeah. Probably just my wiring. The annoying thing is, it's the wiring back here, and it's like a pain in the bum. But if that starts to creep, that'd be sick. Yeah, we'll see. I know with the Supra, because what I've done here is I've got the same aftermarket gauges as in the Supra, apart from a water gauge because I didn't need one because obviously it's there. But I've got, in the Supra, I've got oil temp, oil pressure and boost. So I wanted the same, just so I've got same visibility on both JZs. Yes, I do feel really privileged to be able to say that sentence. But yeah, look, okay, we're at temp, which is great. fans probably should start soon. And yeah, like I was saying, I was meant to go and say, normally I get fully to temp or close to temp before this one starts moving. And then when you've been idling for a while, it kind of creeps its way up. I am liking that that's kind of hit midway and seems to be staying there. We'll see if that stays, because the wiring guys have not tested like the running of the car, just that it runs and everything functions as it should electrically, not, oh, does it overheat or anything. They haven't tested that. That's up to me. So let me jump out and check another thing for leaks and see if the fans are working. All right, I don't know if you can see it, but it's smoky as in there, burning my eyes. So I have to get out of there. So far, no leaks. Fan is on for the thermo fan is running, which is great. My tail lights do not flicker. That's the camera making it do that. I'd love to see this fan here turn on. But yeah, so far everything apart from the aftermarket oil temp gauge is working good, and so far no leaks. But yeah, let's keep checking. All right, we are running. So far no leaks. I'm gonna keep checking this, but you guys don't need to stand there and watch me. So far we're winning. If we're not, I'll let you guys know in the next video. That oil temp gauge is not firing. That's fine. I can almost guarantee it's either just disconnected or I've connected the wrong signal cable. Easy done, my fault, no one else's, and a simple fix hopefully. Or the gauge is broken, I don't know. But minor thing, very minor. I'm excited, guys. We got it back and she's running and she's good and she's healthy. So thank you for coming along for this video, guys. Make sure you tune into the next ones. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. We're almost at 5K. We've got the Beamer running, the 1J that I built completely by myself in the backyard. Well, some help, don't get me wrong. Yeah, loving it. See you all in the next one. See you guys.